Okay, so picture this. A massive logistics hub, right? Hundreds of trucks, forklifts, containers,
Yeah.
everything moving with this amazing synchronized precision. Now imagine if every single one of those pieces, the trucks, the equipment, could not just report its location, but like predict its next maintenance need.
Proactive stuff.
Or warn a vehicle nearby that it's suddenly stopping.
Yeah, instant warnings.
Or even optimize its own route based on real-time traffic happening, I don't know, 3 states away.
Exactly, real-time adjustments.
Sounds like something from, well, maybe a highly advanced future, yeah. Well, welcome to the deep dive. We're pulling back the curtain on that future because, honestly, it's become ever present pretty fast. Today, our mission is simple. Cut through the buzzwords, cut through the noise. We want to show you exactly how 5G connectivity is acting as this invisible but incredibly powerful force, how it's revolutionizing freight logistics, especially trucking operations and telematics. We've dug into the sources, and we're going to extract the key nuggets, the really important bits, to help you quickly grasp the huge transformations happening right now on our roads and our supply chains. It's big.
It really is big. And you hit it right. We're not just talking about, faster movie downloads on your phone. This deep dive is about what 5G truly means for an industry that lives and breathes movement and efficiency. It's not just a small step up, like 3G to 4G might have felt for some things. This is more foundational. It's like upgrading the whole brain and nervous system of modern trucks, giving them intelligence, connectivity, levels we really couldn't have imagined before. So yeah, let's dig into how this tech is reshaping, well, the very arteries of our economy. #tag the deep dive.
Okay, let's do that. Let's unpack 5G first. We hear the term constantly. But for our listeners who are, pretty plugged into the industry, what's the fundamental leap here beyond just it's faster and why should people in trucking specifically really set up and pay attention?
That's a really crucial distinction to make. Speed is definitely part of it, a big part. But it's the combination of factors that makes 5G such a paradigm shift compared to 4G. Our sources point to a few key things. First, yes, significantly faster. We're talking peak speeds, potentially up to 100 times quicker, massive data transfer very quickly.
Like 100 times. It's huge.
It is. But maybe even more critical for trucking is lower latency. Latency is basically delay. So 5G means drastically less delay between sending and receiving data. We're talking milliseconds.
Near instantaneous response then.
Exactly. And then 5G is built to be more connected. It can handle a huge number of devices all talking at once. Think about a truck, a trailer, sensors everywhere. 5G handles that density without things grinding to a halt.
Okay, so capacity is way up.
Way up. And finally, it's actually more energy efficient, which is great for all those battery-powered telematics devices on board. They can last longer.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, it's designed with IoT in mind. So you put all that together, the speed, the near-zero delay, the massive connectivity, the efficiency. It really is like upgrading that truck's nervous system from, dial-up to cutting-edge fiber optics. The truck can think faster, react quicker, stay connected much more reliably. It just redefines what's possible operationally.
Fiber optics for a truck's nervous system. I like that. It paints a picture.
Right.
And speaking of that nervous system, let's talk telematics. People in the industry know the term, but with 5G boosting it, remind us, what exactly is telematics at its core, and how does 5G amplify its power beyond what we've seen with, say, 4G?
Right. So telematics, basically, it's a mashup of telecommunications machines talking over distance and informatics, processing information.
Yeah.
In trucking, it's the truck's intelligent data hub. It collects and sends out all this vital information about how it's operating. Now, before 5G, telematics was good. It could tell you what happened, maybe what was happening a few minutes ago.
Kind of like looking in the rear view mirror sometimes.
A little bit, yeah. Or maybe a slightly delayed view. With 5G, it's like looking through the windshield in high definition, real time. It tells you what's happening right now, and it's getting good enough to start predicting what's about to happen.
Okay, so what kind of insights are we talking about? What data?
Oh, a whole range. The precise real-time location, obviously, down to the meter, its current speed, detailed engine health temperatures, pressures, fault codes, way beyond just the dashboard lights. Then there's driver behavior metrics like harsh braking, sudden acceleration, cornering, safety stuff.
Right, compliance too, I bet.
Absolutely. And maintenance scheduling needs, predicted with much higher accuracy. And we're not talking just summaries. It's a constant, rich stream of data coming from, advanced sensors, high-def GPS, onboard cameras, sophisticated software, all working together. 5G is the super fast pipe that lets all this data flow without bottlenecks. It turns that flood of raw data into immediate usable intelligence for fleet managers. Actionable insights, not just numbers.
That's the key, isn't it? Turning data into actionable intelligence instantly.
You painted a great picture there. It's not just collecting data anymore. It's about having this live, breathing pulse on the whole fleet. Okay, so this clearly supercharges operations. You mentioned data flying like lightning bolts instead of postcards. Let's break down the key ways 5G boosts trucking. Our sources highlighted 5. First up, real-time tracking. But like, really, real-time? We've had GPS for ages. What's different now?
The difference is it's the immediacy. With 4G, updates might have been every few minutes or maybe every 30 seconds if you were lucky. Good, but not instant. 5G speed and that ultra-low latency mean location updates are, well, virtually instantaneous.
So a manager isn't seeing where the truck was, they're seeing where it is this exact second.
Exactly. And its speed, its status right now, this level of immediacy,
Yeah.
it just dramatically improves delivery accuracy, the ETAs you can give customers. It also allows for truly dynamic route optimization. Like if there's a sudden accident miles ahead.
The system can reroute instantly.
Almost instantly, yeah, before the driver even hits the backup. That saves time, reduces delays, and definitely improves fuel efficiency.
Okay, that makes sense.
And think about emergencies, a breakdown, an accident. Knowing the precise location immediately, that cuts down response times for help dramatically.
Yeah, critical minutes saved there.
It shifts the whole thing from being reactive, oh, the truck is late, to being proactive and predictive, much more control.
Okay, huge impact on logistics and safety there. So if tracking gives managers this incredible control, the second benefit you mentioned sounds like it empowers the driver. Safer roads with advanced driver assistance. You described it as giving drivers superhero reflexes. How does 5G enable that in a way 4G couldn't quite manage?
Right, superhero reflexes, or maybe superhuman intuition, is a good way to think about it. This is where that ultra-low latency becomes literally a lifesaver.
Because speed of reaction is everything in safety.
Everything. Think about advanced driver assistance systems, ADS. Things like lane keeping assist.
Yeah, the car nudging you back in lane.
Exactly. Or collision warnings, blind spot detection, automatic emergency braking. For these systems, even a tiny delay, a fraction of a second, can be the difference between a near miss and a serious accident. 5G cuts that communication delay down to almost nothing. Milliseconds.
Wow.
So when you pair that near-instant communication with high-def cameras, radar, LiDAR, all those sensors, the truck can basically perceive its environment, process incredibly complex data, and react with unbelievable speed.
So it sees something, communicates it, and the system reacts almost before the driver can.
In some cases, yes. An autonomous emergency braking system, for instance. It has to spot an obstacle, figure out if it's a threat, and hit the brakes faster than a human can blink. 5G provides that absolutely critical real-time data flow needed for that split-second decision-making. It lets the truck see further ahead, think faster. It gives the driver vital extra moments, or sometimes it intervenes directly to prevent a crash. Huge potential for reducing accidents.
It really does sound like the truck is becoming an active partner in safety, communicating with the road and its surroundings in real time. Okay, let's move to number 3. Smarter maintenance with predictive analytics. This feels like a really fundamental shift, getting away from that old fix it when it breaks model. How does 5G elevate predictive maintenance? What's it doing that's new?
Yeah, this really pushes fleet management into proactive territory. Big time. With 5G, you have the bandwidth to continuously stream and analyze enormous amounts of data from the engine, from components, in real time. Much more data, much more frequently than before.
More than just check engine lights, then.
Oh, way beyond that.
Yeah.
It's not just about diagnosing existing faults. It's about constantly monitoring performance signatures, subtle vibrations, tiny temperature fluctuations, pressure readings across hundreds of data points simultaneously. Advanced algorithms analyze this stream, looking for minute deviations from normal operating patterns.
Patterns that might indicate a future failure.
Exactly. They can predict that a specific part, maybe a water pump or a bearing or an injector, is starting to degrade long before it actually fails.
Wow, so you catch it before the breakdown.
Precisely. It allows maintenance to be scheduled proactively during planned downtime when it's convenient, instead of having a truck suddenly break down on the side of the highway, which is costly, massively inconvenient, and potentially dangerous.
The implications there are huge. Less downtime.
Drastically reduced downtime, extended vehicle life, significant cost savings on repairs and rescues. It's a massive operational advantage.
Predicting the future, almost. That's definitely a game changer. Okay, that brings us to the 4th impact. Seamless talking between trucks, vehicle-to-vehicle communication, or V2V. This sounds less about individual trucks being smart and more about them becoming like a team, a network.
That's a perfect way to describe it. V2V, especially enabled by 5G's low latency and high bandwidth, creates a sort of connected convoy or a local road network.
So trucks sharing information directly with each other.
Exactly. Without necessarily having to go through a central server first, it's near instantaneous local communication.
What's a practical example of how this teamwork plays out on the road?
Okay, imagine one truck hits an unexpected patch of black ice, or maybe runs into sudden, thick fog.
Right. Dangerous situations.
Instantly, that truck can broadcast a warning signal directly to other 5G-enabled vehicles nearby, within a certain radius. Our sources mention an example like, warning, icy road surface ahead, slow down.
So the truck behind gets a heads up before it even sees the hazard.
Precisely. It gives drivers behind precious seconds, maybe even minutes, depending on the situation, to react appropriately. Adjust their speed, increase following distance. You can see how that could prevent multi-vehicle pileups and bad conditions.
Absolutely.
And it goes beyond just hazard warnings. Trucks could share real-time traffic updates locally, coordinate platooning.
Platooning, where they drive close together for fuel efficiency.
Yeah, driving in tight formation reduces aerodynamic drag. 5G allows for the super precise speed and braking coordination needed to do that safely. They could even communicate about upcoming merges or lane closures. It fosters a much safer, more efficient, and cooperative driving environment. It's trucks working together.
That networked intelligence.
Yeah.
It feels like a step towards a genuinely smart highway system.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Okay, finally, the fifth impact. Fleet management on autopilot. For fleet managers who are already juggling a million things, how does 5G-powered telematics actually automate tasks? What gets easier?
This is where the efficiency gains really hit the bottom line and free up managers' time. 5G-enabled telematics can automate a whole bunch of critical functions. Many were manual, or at least required manual checking, and were prone to errors.
Like what specifically?
Think about super precise fuel usage tracking, automatically logged for every truck, every trip. No more manual logs or estimations. Ensuring strict compliance with complex driver hours of service regulations. It's automated, accurate, reduces violation risks.
That's always a big one.
Huge. Also, continuous monitoring of cargo temperature. For refrigerated trucks carrying food or pharmaceuticals, this is absolutely critical. 5G allows constant, reliable monitoring and alerts if temperatures deviate.
Vital for certain industries, yeah.
So this real-time automated data collection and reporting, it drastically cuts down on human error. But just as importantly, it frees fleet managers from that daily grind of just gathering data, checking logs, putting out fires.
Gives them time to think bigger picture.
Exactly. Instead of reacting to yesterday's problems found in a report or guessing about today's performance, they get the bandwidth to focus on strategic planning. Optimizing routes overall, improving customer relations, developing their drivers and teams. It really shifts their role from operational guesswork and admin to data-driven strategic leadership.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Moving from reactive to strategic. So we've seen how 5G supercharges individual trucks, optimizes fleet operations. Let's zoom out. What does this mean for the really big picture? How is 5G shaping the entire future of freight and logistics, building what our sources are calling the digital freight highway?
Yeah, that term digital freight highway really captures it because 5G isn't just tweaking the old system, it's providing the fundamental backbone for the next generation of logistics. First, think autonomous trucking. Self-driving trucks aren't science fiction anymore, they're in development and testing. They rely completely on things like 5G's incredible speed and that near-zero lag for the split-second decision-making that's absolutely non-negotiable for safety on the road.
Can't have buffering when a truck's deciding whether to brake.
Not an option. Then it enables truly connected supply chains. Imagine having unprecedented real-time visibility for every single shipment, from the moment it leaves the warehouse through every transit point right to the final doorstep delivery.
Total transparency.
Total transparency. This allows for dynamic adjustments across the whole chain, inventory levels, routing, scheduling, based on real-time conditions. Massive efficiency gains there. And beyond efficiency, all these smarter routes, smoother driving, platooning, it adds up to significant cost savings and environmental benefits.
Right, less fuel burned.
Less fuel, reduced idling, which means drastically cutting carbon emissions across the whole logistics sector. So it's really a holistic transformation, creating this interwoven, intelligent ecosystem where everything communicates: trucks, warehouses, traffic systems, customers.
That's a compelling vision. And you said it's not just theory. People are building this now. Who are the key players we see actually laying the groundwork for this digital freight highway?
Oh, definitely not just theory. This is happening now, driven by a whole ecosystem of players working together, sometimes competing, sometimes partnering. You've got the network providers, obviously, companies like Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. They're actively investing billions to expand their 5G networks, specifically targeting major freight corridors. Building that infrastructure is job one.
Putting the highway in place.
Exactly. Then you have the vehicle manufacturers, Volvo, Daimler, who makes Freightliner, PACCAR, Kenworth, Peterbilt, Tesla with the Semi. They're all designing and building 5G-ready trucks, embedding the modems, the antennas, the processing power right from the factory.
So the trucks are rolling out ready to connect.
Increasingly, yes. And then there are the specialized telematics providers, companies like Geotab, Samsara, Trimble, Keep Truckin'. They're constantly innovating, creating the advanced 5G-compatible devices, the sensors, and crucially, the software platforms that make sense of all this data for the fleets.
The brains of the operation, in a way.
You could say that. And it's not just the private sector. You also see government initiatives popping up, exploring things like smart roads with embedded sensors or designating dedicated lanes for automated freight platoons. Governments recognize the economic and societal benefits here.
So it's a multifaceted effort. Infrastructure, vehicles, software, and policy, all moving forward. Okay, it sounds incredibly promising, almost inevitable. But, big shifts like this are never completely smooth sailing.
Yeah.
There've got to be challenges, right? Hurdles to overcome.
Oh, absolutely. You're right to ask that. It's definitely not frictionless. There are some significant obstacles still. One of the biggest is simply the coverage rollout. Getting that robust, high-speed 5G signal everywhere a truck might go. Major highways and urban areas are getting there, but ensuring reliable coverage across vast rural stretches, remote depots, that's a huge, expensive infrastructure challenge. It takes time.
The digital divide hitting the highways.
Kind of, yeah. Then there's the challenge of upgrading existing fleets. Millions of trucks are already on the road. Retrofitting them with 5G capabilities or replacing them altogether represents a really substantial investment, especially for smaller independent operators or smaller fleets.
Cost is definitely a barrier.
It is. And then a really critical one, cybersecurity. As these trucks become more connected, more reliant on software and data streams, they also become potential targets for cyber threats.
Hacking a truck sounds pretty scary.
It's a serious concern. Protecting the integrity of the data, ensuring the systems can't be maliciously interfered with, that requires constant vigilance, sophisticated security measures, and ongoing investment. It's a continuous battle.
So coverage, cost, and security, those are big ones.
They are significant hurdles, however, and this is important, despite these challenges, the competitive advantages for the fleets that do start adopting this technology are becoming really clear, really tangible.
And early movers get a leg up.
A big one. They're seeing immediate benefits. Safer operations because of those advanced assistance systems we talked about. Faster, more reliable, more predictable deliveries, which leads to happier customers. Better fuel efficiency, lower maintenance costs over time. So while the challenges are real, the long-term gains in efficiency, safety, and cost reduction, they make the investment look not just worthwhile, but increasingly essential to stay competitive in the long run.
Right. It becomes table stakes eventually. Well, there you have it. It's pretty clear, isn't it? Whether you're deep in the logistics world as a fleet manager or a driver, or maybe you're a tech investor looking at where things are headed, or even if you're just curious about how that package you ordered online finds its way to your door so quickly, 5G is fundamentally rewriting the rules of freight movement. It's making it faster, undeniably smarter, demonstrably safer, and just completely connected in ways we couldn't do before. It's turning that long-haul, sometimes uncertain journey into this highly optimized, intelligent dance of data and motion. It's fascinating.
It really is. And that phrase you used earlier, digital freight highway, is so fitting. The new highway, the really important one for the future, isn't just being paved with asphalt anymore. It's being built on these invisible lanes of lightning-fast data. And that actually makes me think. It raises a bigger question, maybe something for you listening to chew on. As 5G keeps expanding, the super-fast data highway gets wider and longer. What other industries, maybe ones that seem totally unrelated to trucking today, what other parts of our lives might soon start riding on this highway, fundamentally changing how we experience them? Where else will this near instant connectivity make a difference?
That's a great question to ponder. Don't get left behind in the slow lane, folks. The future is definitely here, and it's riding on a super fast highway in the sky, powered by 5G. Stay connected. Stay ahead. Drive the future.